Who's your emergency contact? Who should be notified in case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. First off, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to my USP series. And I know I started my platform sharing my stories and my journey through the penitentiary, But, at the end of the day, I share you these stories to build my credit with you, to build my credibility with you, to let you know who I am, what I'm about, but also as a platform to pivot to some other things. So I know you guys enjoyed my USP series, but for all of you that follow me, for all of you that view these videos, man, I would greatly appreciate it if you go to some of the other stuff and check them out and support some of the other stuff that I'm trying to do too. But that being said, I already said the intro, so I'm gonna share you a USP story. I tell you, in the life that I lived in the past 2+ decades, there are certain rules that come into play that have no gray area. And one of them is stealing. All the sex stuff, whatever, like if you're violating women, if you're violating kids. For my car, for the Asian Islander car, for the white boys, for the Native Americans, for some of the gangs and stuff in there, those are also black and white issues. But as you know, there's cars in there, and the majority of the people that have these people around them are blacks. And I'm not saying that's the gang members. I'm not saying that's the Crips or the Bloods or the GDs or any of that. But for the most part, you have dudes in the black car that are from different regions and stuff that don't really feel any type of way about those issues, And it's disappointing, right? But that's the nature of the beast. I try to, everybody thinks that being in the USP, everybody, no matter what color you are, no matter what color you are, no matter what car you're in, they all stick to the code. But if I tell you that, I'd be lying, right? But going back to this story that I'm about to share with you, has to do with some of the NF down in Pollock a few years back. And, like I say, some of the stories that I want to share with you, I want to make sure that I always have, permission to, because if they're not my story, then I don't feel like I could just come out here and say the things I want to say or share them with you. But I've been going back and forth with some of the people that I've known that were there with the incident, that were locked up with me, and lack of a better word or whatever, I have the okay, right? So stealing is a no-no, right? Like, I've never had anything stolen from me. When I'm sitting at the table watching TV or something, and they call chow or they call wreck, I take my headphones, put them on the table with my radio, and walk out. I'm not worried about somebody stealing something from me. Because for me, from my perspective, if my radio or my headphone is worth your life, then that's what it is. You sold your life for a radio, or you sold your life for a headphone, or you sold your life for some stamps, whatever it is. There's people in there that really don't value their life because they sell themselves short. Or maybe they're not selling themselves short. Maybe they feel that's what their life is worth. You know, a few books of stamps or a radio or a headphone. You know, they had a native dude that came from the FCI when I was in Florence. And when they called one of the moves, I put my radio down and my headphone down. And he was like, hey man, what you doing? I said, what's up? Aren't you gonna put that in your cell? I said, for what? He said, man, you ain't gonna worry about somebody might steal it. I said, man, ain't nobody stealing my stuff. And he couldn't comprehend that because in the FCI that he was at, shit come up missing. People are stealing all day. And he was like, yeah, in the FCI, motherfuckers be stealing shit. And I'm like, well, how come their head ain't busted? And he just looked at me like, that's what everybody do in the FCI. Everybody condones it, you know. Like these dudes that are thieves, they'll have a lookout man. You know, they'll wait for everybody to leave the unit. Maybe one guy will go into somebody's cell or go pick something off the table. But then you got their homies in the cut that's keeping point. But these dudes, they won't last long in the USP. And the story that I'm going to share with you right now is a prime example of that. In Pollock, they got some NF dudes. And I'm going to say allegedly because they already got found. I mean, they went to court and got time for the body and all that already. But just for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to say alleged, right? Anyway, so they have an NF member, and I'm not sure exactly which one they were, but you know, they had a dude named Diablo, Rue, and Droopy. These were the NF that allegedly participated in this incident. Now, in the history with the Northern Familia, they're out of Northern California. And in the state joint, they have an alliance with the Crips and the Bloods. And when they came into the feds, the alliance still held the Crips and the Bloods in the Bay Area, you know, out of California. They aligned themselves with the Crips and the Bloods in the Bay Area out in California because they're at war with the Black Hand. And the Black Hand have an alliance with the Aryan Brotherhood. So, in a sense, it's to even up the numbers. And plus, you know, there's a saying that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So, you know, the Mexicans and the Crips, they go at it. The Mexicans and the Bloods, they go at it. So, it's basically the Mexicans and the Blacks don't get along. Well, the Black Hand and the NF don't get along. So it's only natural that the Blacks form an alliance with the NF against the MAs and the Aryan Brotherhood. So when these guys start coming into the feds, they kept their alliance. But, you know, with everybody, with every car, there's always going to be somebody that thinks they're smarter than everybody else, that thinks they're slicker than everybody else, that thinks they're tougher than everybody else, and that think they can get away with shit. But there's no secrets in the penitentiary, homie. You know, when something happens, there's always somebody that was there. There's always going to be somebody that saw, and eventually things going to come out. Because let's say somebody leaves a necklace, a gold necklace, or I go into somebody's cell and steal a gold necklace. Well, they don't sell gold necklace in the penitentiary. So obviously I can't sport it, walk around wearing it, because if I wear it, somebody's gonna see that it belongs to somebody that had that shit stolen from them. So for people that steal stuff, they don't steal it to keep it, they steal it to sell it. Well, if I got a necklace from something, if I stole a necklace and I go and sell it to somebody, I might tell them, hey, oh, this is my necklace, I'm running through some hard times or whatever reason, excuse I give to get this dude to buy the necklace from me. Well, the guy that buys it, he doesn't know that it's stolen, so he's gonna put it around his neck and wear it. He bought it, it belongs to him. Well, the guy that I stole it from, sooner or later, we're on the same yard. It's not like this guy can leave the prison and go somewhere else or whatever. We're on the same yard, so it's only a matter of time that whoever I stole the necklace from is gonna see this dude wearing it. So when he sees this dude wearing it, he's gonna go up to the dude and be like, hey, homie, you got my necklace on. Where the fuck you get that? The dude's gonna be like, oh, I bought it. Well, now the dude that got his necklace stolen is gonna be like, hey, homie, somebody stole that from me. So it's only gonna be one or two things now. Either he's gonna assume that this dude wearing his necklace is the one that stole it, or that he bought a hot necklace. And now the dude that is wearing the necklace has a choice. He's gonna be like, hey, I bought it from so-and-so, or he's gonna be like, hey man, I can't tell you who I got it from. Now, if he takes that route, see, he's put in a fucked up situation, especially if you stole from somebody that is part of a gang or that themselves is a formidable dude, because that dude, he's only going to give that person that wearing that necklace two choices. And there's only two options. Either you stole it or you bought it from somebody. And if you don't tell me who you bought it from, then I'm going to assume you stole it and I'm going to come and get it from you. Because it's not going to be enough for the dude to be like, the dude that's got the necklace, be like, hey man, I bought it from somebody. I can't tell you who I bought it from, but I don't want no problem. Here's the necklace back. The guy that got his necklace stolen is not going to accept that. Even though the dude is offering the necklace back, he's not going to be like, all right, thank you, and move on with his life. Because when somebody steals from you, they violated your space. And in essence, for them to even come up into your space and steal from you, they're telling you without saying it that they think you're a bitch. They think you're a lame, that you're a nobody. And there's people that's got their shit stolen from them that are lames, are bitches, and are nobody. And they don't do nothing about it. They'll see somebody wearing their shit, whether it's their radio or headphones or necklace or whatever, and they just move on because they don't want the funk. But to real dudes, to gangsters, they're not letting that shit ride. One, not only for their own pride, but for what it looks like to the community. Because everybody know that this dude had this necklace, now he don't have it no more, and rumors around that his chick got his shit stolen, and there's somebody else walking around wearing it. Whether you agree with our mentality or not, what people perceive about you is very important. You might say, oh, I don't care what somebody thinks about me, but we all do. We all care what everybody else thinks about us, especially if we are the kind of individual that conduct ourselves a certain way with integrity, that we're on man time. When we have an image and integrity to protect, we're not going to allow anybody to slander that. And they don't have to just slander that with words, but they can slander that with their deeds. If I think myself as a gangster, as somebody that goes hard, somebody that upholds the code, somebody's on that man time, and allow somebody to come and take something from me, then I'm really not everything that I think I am, right? Especially if I don't go handle that. When I say allow, meaning that, yeah, I know somebody took something from me and I'm not doing anything about it. So, again, this NF dude, he had a dude come in his cell and stole something out of his cell. And the dude that did it was a Crip dude by the name of Lil C. You know, for me, it's hard to understand, like, from the Crip dude's perspective. He know this dude's a made man, meaning he's a member of the Nostra Familia. You don't get that patch on you. You don't get that tattooed on you. You don't get made and brought into that organization if the people around him didn't believe that individual to be somebody formidable, to be a gangster. And I tell you, there's there's different echelons of gangbanging, of gangsters and organized crime and families and all the rest. You know, for me, my hood is homegrown. It was a bunch of us out here in Utah that got together, started kicking it, end up calling ourselves something, and we went through and put in the works that we thought we were supposed to and end up in the penitentiary and all that. By no means do I compare my organization to these other organizations, you know. But that's not to say that my homeboys are any less of a man or that I'm any less compared to some of these dudes that are made men or anything. I walked the yard with them. I funked with them. I've got some of them that are my friends. So for me, I'm just saying that I acknowledge the different levels of gangs. So this Crip dude goes into this NF cell and steals something from his cell. Now, how they found out and got and discovered that it was this Crip dude named Lil C in particular, I don't really know, right? But the end result was the NF went over there and butchered him. And end up, what's the term they use on YouTube? Unaliving him. You know, 3 of them with homemade knives. We in there and started poking holes in his body. Just think about that for a minute. What is there in the penitentiary that is really worth your life outside of defending your honor, outside of defending your manhood? What material thing in the penitentiary is worth your life? A radio? A necklace? Some dope? Some stamps? But time and time again, you run into individuals that is willing to take this risk. And like for me, like I said, I can't comprehend it. Like, you know this is against the rules. Before you've done this, you've seen prior incidents that has happened to other people that have participated in the same activity, lose their life, or get butchered and get their head busted and all the rest of it. But how do you get into a space in your mindset that you feel that it's okay for you to do it that you're gonna be able to get away with it, or that these dudes ain't nobody and you're just gonna do whatever you wanna do. You know, even some of the mellowest dude that ain't walking around like they're tough or whatever. Everybody in the penitentiary understands that if you allow somebody to take something from you, to steal from you, that it's gonna make you look like you're soft, it's gonna make you look like you're weak. And when people have that perception of you, they're gonna line up. They're gonna line up and they're gonna come through and they're gonna be like, man, that dude didn't do nothing to that dude that stole something from him. So, hey, I'm gonna take something too. And they're gonna keep taking from you until you have nothing left to take except for your manhood. That's why it's expected of everybody in a penitentiary that if somebody steals from you, you better go over there and handle that. And you don't go over there by busting some dude's head. You don't go over there by trying to fight him or calling him out. You're going over there to butcher and end his existence. And that's what happened. Dude went in there, went to an NF cell, stole something from him. They found out who it was. Like I said, there's no secrets in the penitentiary. They did their investigation, found out who it was that went into their cell. And, you know, the protocol is for them to go and maybe speak to the hierarchies of the Crip car and be like, hey man, so-and-so stole from me. And allow the Crip car to go and handle that business. But when it comes to a situation like this, for me, you know, if that same thing happened to me, I'm not going to the Crip car, even though it's protocol, even though it's expected of you to do, to allow, you know, the guilty person's group to handle their business. The reason that I wouldn't go to the Crip car and say, hey, one of your homies stole from me is because, one, I don't want to give dudes a heads up that I know he did something foul to me. And two, even though, you know, I tell you that I'm on man time and there's plenty of individuals in there that are on man time, but the reality is there's only very few, a handful that stick to the code straight down the line. Because if I go to them and say, hey, your homeboy took something from me, I'm nobody to them. Yeah, I'm somebody they might respect, but that's their homie. And they know that, hey, if somebody stole from this dude, he's gonna bring this dude a move. So now I run the risk of their homeboys telling their dude, like, hey man, you stole from Mesa? You know what I mean? I can't, you know, especially if I can't prove it, because I can't run the cameras back. You know, I can't go and fucking fingerprint, you know, his fingerprints or anything. So, but the only thing I'm gonna rely on, since I wasn't there, is from other people telling me they saw him or whatever. Basically, I can't really like bring hardcore evidence outside of my word and outside of other individuals' word that this dude stole from me. But I'm gonna make my judgment and come to a conclusion that the information I got is correct and that this dude stole from me. So now when I go to the people, I'm running the risk that their people is gonna go to the dude and be like, hey man, Mesa's saying you stole from him. So now they're gonna look at dude and be like, hey, if you stole from him, yeah, we gotta punish you. But if you didn't, you can't allow Mesa to be running around talking about you's a thief. Even if they believe me that this dude stole from him, they're still gonna come with that conversation because they rather see their homie save face come and punish me than have to go punish their own homie, especially if somebody they respect and somebody they like. So if that incident happened with me, I do my investigation and find out what's what. And I'm not saying a fucking thing to anybody. I'm just wait to catch dudes slipping and handle my business. And that's what the NF did. They caught dude, and 3 of them ended his existence. I don't know what he stole, but like I said, does it matter? Is there anything that we can possess in a penitentiary, whether it's dope, whether it's a gold necklace, a radio, headphones, or a cell phone? I mean, I just, count them off, because those, if it comes to material things, are probably the only thing that's worth of any value. But I don't believe that value is worth my life. But some people really don't think in that perspective. And that's why through the course of my time, I've seen a lot of people get butchered for stealing. Welcome to the USP.